Okay, we're going to start this Sunday morning off with some Foundations Quick Draft. I don't do a lot of drafting on this channel, even though I do actually a fair amount of it off screen, because I find it a good way to get cards. We're opening 3 packs here for 5,000 gold, something along those lines. And we're not going to rare draft, but we are going to take really good rares if we find them and still try to build a really solid deck to try to at least get 3 out of 3, which I find as a soft break-even point. We are running Untapped GGG, so that's the 52 and some of the extra information here you're probably not used to seeing if you don't use it, as well as how many are in our collection, etc. So I've not actually played this at all, but it does seem like the bomb in this set. I do know Healer's Hawk is good. I've played with it before. Slagstorm is fun removal, but not really what we need here. Stab is okay removal. I would be happy to take it, but probably not a pack 1 pick 1. So I think pack 1 pick 1's got to be High Society Hunter. And we really want to be in the Black Sacrifice setup now, which means probably Rakdos. So we see Burst Lightning there. That's immediately hitting me. But of course, we got Tragic Banshee here as well, which is pretty good. Hard to argue. It is a 5 mana 5/3 that comes down, gives something -1 or -13, depending on how that turn has gone. And that works really well with my High Society Hunter. I don't see anything else in this set that's really calling to me, or this pack. Vampire Soul Color is definitely tempting, but I think we go Tragic Banshee. Okay. We got Fire. Well, we got Exsanguinate, which I do love as a card. I would love to make this work more, but not limited. Fire Spitter Whelp, 3 mana, 2/2. Whenever you cast a non-creature dragon spell or dragon spell, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. This is fine. I don't hate it for our Rakdos plans, but I don't love it either. In fact, I'm somewhat tempted to just take the land over it. That said, we haven't actually found the red that's going to force us into Rakdos, so taking the land might be premature. Goblin Borders for the raid is okay. Gorehorn Raider is also okay. I think it goes pretty much the order the numbers give me here, which is Gorehorn Raider, Bloodfell Caves, Goblin Borders here. I don't know. The Vampire Soul Color is probably pretty good. It gets back Society Hunter. I think I like the Vampire Whelp the most. Yeah, I think I like the Vampire Whelp the most. It's the colors I want to be in, and we can get a lot of value out of non-creature dragon spells, I think. We'll take it. See how it goes. Infestation Sage is pretty good. Stillwater Cliffs isn't really where we want to need to be. Guarded Air is not where we need to be at all. Rupture to each creature without flying isn't really good here. So that really leaves us with Sage and Blight Priest. And we don't have enough life gain triggers to do the Blight Priest. Like, this would be good in a Orzhov, not necessarily in a Rakdos deck. Whereas Infestation Sage is a staple. Artist is huge. Revenge of the Rats is fun, but not unlimited. And it's uncommon, so I'm definitely not worried about having to draft it. The Artist here, though, is in the colors we want, Death Touch, and Raid, which, if you attack to the start, each opponent loses 3 life, unless that player sacrifices non-land permanent of their choice or discards a card. Just fantastic card. 3/2 Death Touch for 3 is not bad on its own. Add a good body ability, and it's fantastic. Eaten Alive is the sorcery card we'd like to play with Fire Spitter Whelp, though. 1 black's additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature, or pay 4 additional, which is doable later game. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Huge removal. But I think Artist is a bomb. So following Bread, we're going to go that way. Take a quick pause here. Testing. Okay. And let's see. This one's interesting. The Stab has come around. It's actually still a different pack, but we found another one. Gutless Plunderer is fun. Death Touch on a 2/2 for 3 makes it a little worse than the Artist already. But then we have Raid. When this creature enters, if you attack, look at the top 3 cards of the library. People want one of those on top of your library, put the rest into your graveyard. This seems okay. Reading what Channel Fireball wrote about it, comparing it to a Surveil 3 if you've attacked when you play this, it's actually pretty interesting. They do mention it's worse than that. The 2/2 Death Touch, though, seems good. This set has a lot of interesting cards. A card that can just trade off with them is pretty good. Stab is okay, but it's definitely early game stuff, right? Negative 2/2 on a target until end of turn is going to stop working at some point. Maybe we can use it as a combat trick and get a win and like keep alive a high society hunter or something with it. But I'm very seriously considering taking the Gutless Plunderer instead. What's our creature count? 5-0. All right, I think we'll take Stab. I would not have been upset to take the other one, though. A couple good cards here. Battlesong Berserker, red. Whenever you attack, target creature control gains +1 and gains Menace is fantastic. Giving our creatures evasion is huge. Strongbox Raider, when this creature enters, exile the top 2 cards of the library, choose one of them. Till the end of next turn, you may play that. That card filtering, card advantage is huge. I think the evasion makes this a bomb. These are very, very close to me. Like closer than the 43-39, I think, says. I think the 44 and 43 are much better suited numbers here. We have a little bit of card advantage here. And I think that is our only card advantage at this time. And I don't expect to get a lot in Rakdos. The Berserker is 4. The Strongbox Raider is 4. There's enough flying, though, that I'm a little worried about High Society Hunter not being able to swing. And this lets it swing. Same is potentially true for Tragic Banshee and Firespitter Whelp. Yeah, I think this does enough good. I would have been very happy to take the other card, though. Sanguine Siphoner is not bad, because it's really an Orzhov card, but it triggers itself when it attacks. And at 2 mana, I'm fine to run it. Involuntary Employment. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. It gains haste, create a treasure token. I don't hate this effect. I really don't think it's where I want to be, though. Like, I would probably sideboard this. I'm not even sure Sanguine actually gets into our deck, but it's a good approximation. Imprisoned in the Moon. Okay. We're basically never playing Bulk Up, although it's not an awful card. Hungry Ghoul. Sacrifice another creature, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. 2/2 for 2. So this does the Rakdos Plane of Sacrifice. It's a decent rated card, even if we don't sacrifice anything to it. And so I think overall we're happy enough with that. There's plenty of things I'd love to take over this, but none of them are in this pack for sure. This is a complete wash for us. I am missing one of the seismic ruptures, so I'm just going to grab that. The Goblin Borders Wield, we will happily take that. We'll take the Blight Priest, but we're just going to stick it in sideboard. It's unlikely that gets played. Second Right and Crackling Prowler, neither of those are going to get played in this deck, and a Plains. Alright, next one. We find the Mythic Llanowar Elf. Did it come with the alternative art? Is that why it's in the mythic spot? Or is it supposed to be common, and because this is my favorited skin, it's showing it up front? Either way, it's a good card, but not something we get to play here. Banner of Kinship is our rare, and I'm very actually tempted to just grab this as a rare draft. I've already got 3 of the 4 of them, but it's such a good tribal card, and I do love me tribals. Do we have anything else that really makes me tempted away from that? Sarah Angel's fine as a card, but we're not splashing double white in this deck, so that's not happening. I don't think there's any world where we run Fishing Pole. Yeah, I don't think so. There's the Kello's Juggernaut here. This creature attacks each combat able. This creature can't be blocked by walls. Yeah, I'm reading the text here. I really don't see this doing enough. Yeah, I don't think that's it. Sagwine Siphoner is here. We are running 1. I don't think we would hate to run 2. The Firebrand is also, I think, an acceptable take here. And you get the sacrifice. I don't think that actually triggers with anything that we have. We have things that want to make things sacrifice. However, Firebrand's not a bad card. I think I'm going to do the rare draft here, though. I think if I didn't, it would be the Sagwine, but I don't know if the second one makes the cut. Frenzied Goblin, another Stab, Stroke of Midnight. Mischievous Mystic is actually a really good card if we were in blue with some card draw abilities. We are very far away from that, though. Axguard Cavalry, Dwarf Berserker, target creature gains haste until end of turn. Could be a world where we'd play that in certain decks. This isn't it. Frenzied Goblin lets us do, whenever this creature attacks, you may pay 1 red. If you do, target creature can't block this turn. This is pretty good. Stab might just be better, though. We still don't have very many non-creatures. In fact, our other stabs are only 1. This isn't a bomb. It maybe lets our bombs get through easier. But removal is probably better. And if I drew both these cards in polarity, this card has to attack in order to do its thing. Which means I'm probably only going to get it off once. So I'm going to take Stab. I don't know that you're wrong to take the other one. This at first glance looks like a really bad pack. Thankfully, Hungry Ghoul here is here to help out. Eagle is here. I actually do have a High Noon Flyer deck, and this Lord for Flying Creatures is huge for that. I like this card a lot, especially at Uncommon. Has no business being in our draft pool right now, though. Just in what we're going for, this does not make any sense. Elvish Grower is another pretty decent card in this pack, but again, just not in our colors. Firebrand Archer is kind of tempting. If we really had a lot more non-creature spells, we could see about trying to wall up and then just burn opponents down with removal and just constant spells triggering damage. I don't really think it's a good plan in Limited, but it is a plan. We're going to take the second Ghoul, though. I think I'm relatively happy playing that. Helpful Cat's a card I really, really like. See my Cats deck for why. I think the Cats deck is actually one of the best tribal decks right now. Another pack where I'm not interested in any rare drafting because Quick Draft isn't the best for that by far. But Rats here, making your opponent's discard Limited can be pretty good, especially if you save it. I don't think this is a turn 2 card. I think this is like a turn 4 or 5 card. And I don't hate playing it at that time. Nothing else here is even remotely cool. Maybe the Needletooth Pack. But we'd have to find a way to double splash green, and that's not happening right now. So, Rat's gonna be. This next pack is pretty weak. Another Blight Priest is really our best one. Good Fortune Unicorn is great in a different deck. We could take the Fabloon Trick to get my 4th copy of theirs, but I'm not really worried about uncommons. I've got 171 of those, and I tend to go up, not down per set of those. So I think we take the Marauding Blight Priest, but I'm not happy. I'm not happy with it. If there was some mana fixing that might let us splash green, I would have considered it there. Another pack that I'm not crazy about. Siphoner is here again. Incineration Blast is here. 6 damage target creature. You may discard a card if you do draw a card. And the Involuntary Employment once again. I really don't think Involuntary Employment's where I want to be. I guess the coolest thing we can do with this is use it, swing with High Society Hunter, or sacrifice it to Hungry Ghoul. I think about that. I do see where that could be much, much better. We have to have one of those sacrifice outlets available, though. Is the 6 damage just safer? 6 damage is probably more consistent. What does 6 damage not kill in this set? I think there's a couple things, but not much. 6 damage generally does the job. That also lets us do card draw and get some card advantage. I suppose this gets us Treasure Token, but at 4 mana, we're probably already ramping. This does require 5 mana, though, which we're not guaranteed to hit. It's a tough call. I think Incineration Blast might be better, but I'm going to take the Employment here to help with our combat stuff. We got a very interesting pack now. We got another Siphoner. We got Incineration Blast again. We've also got Zombify. Zombifying back our High Society Hunter or our Artist, or even our Borders or Berserker all seem fine. 4 mana, sorcery speed. I don't hate it. Get a bomb back. Or get more removal. I do find that removal is what makes decks consistent and getting to 3/3. How much removal do we have currently? We've got 2 stabs, but they're only for -2. We've got Rat for discard. And we've got Involuntary Employment. Yeah, I think it's Incineration Blast. Next pack. Absolutely nothing in here that I see that I want. Sower of Chaos. Target creature can't block this turn. Very expensive. I think maybe there's a world we do play this in the deck, but I'm wondering if we would just rather play Goldvein Pick. And honestly, probably not. We don't actually get that much benefit from a treasure token, and we have nothing that gives us benefit for sacrificing the treasure token, despite being a sacrifice deck. So I think it's Chaos here, but I think it immediately goes sideboard, and I'm going to be pretty disappointed if we have to play it. We'll take the Sagwing. We will sideboard the one for now. We will take this second Incineration Blast, and I think we'll even main deck it. But I don't know that it stays. Meteor Golem or Firebrand Archer now. 7 mana, destroy target non-land permanent, or 1 damage whenever you cast a non-creature spell. We have 5 of them in the deck now. And it doesn't block well, it's a 2/1. So probably not that card. I also don't know that we're ever going to play a 7-drop. I think Firebrand Archer is the easier one to wheel into our deck, but I doubt we'll see either. I'm just going to grab whatever card here, it doesn't matter. Same thing here, nothing in this pack, and an island to finish us out. All right, pack 3, pick 3, and we have Sire of 7 Deaths off the top. Speaking of not being sure if we can play a 7-drop, this is a 7-drop I'm pretty sure we can play. I can't imagine what else would be in this pack that we would possibly run in our colors. But oh, by the way, Anthem of Champions is here, and it is baller in a freaking limited deck. If you were green-white already and this drops, you're so happy. And the art's so good here. I love seeing this here. Don't think we can get away with it. We could rare draft it, but the Sire is a mythic card that we can actually use and is in the colors. There are some other things in here. Take Your Own Death isn't awful. Frenzied Goblin we've talked about earlier. I'm not crazy on it. I don't know that it actually gets played. If the Sire of Seven Deaths wasn't here, I'd probably rare draft the Anthem. As is, though, we're just going to take the Sire. Vampire Soul Color. We actually get 2 of them in this pack. There's Vampire and Nighthawk here. And Nighthawk is so much better. Another Llanowar Elves in this pack, which is fun. I don't see anything else, though, I'm interested in. So the Vampire Nighthawk. Flying Lifelink Death Touch on a 2/3 body. Just fantastic. We see a Zombify again. Which I think might be the best card. We do have the Firebrand available as well that I potentially take. One thing I don't like about Untapped GGG, by the way, Untapped GG, is that now that I've taken like the Crackling Prowler from earlier, it seems to be highlighting green cards a little bit higher. Like, hey, you have one, maybe you'd want to do this, and I really, really don't. Bushwhack is not awful if I was going to splash it because it lets me fix mana a bit, but it's showing the Prowler as a higher pick here, or the Truffle Snout as a higher pick here. I don't like. Not that this is a bad card, but I really feel like there are better options here, and it's like really signifying that maybe these aren't bad ideas. It's not entirely untrue, it's just I prefer, if I'm so heavy in a certain way already, that it discount those more than it does. Anyways, I think it's Zombify here. There's an argument for the Firebrand Archer number 2, but we really don't have the instants and spells we want. We still need to include 17 lands, so we're running out of room to include more things, and of course we're pack 3, pick 3, so there's not much more coming. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Zombify. We'll main deck it for now. Snake Pack, we see Good Fortune Unicorn again, Arcane Epiphany. Spitfire is not awful, though the amount of lands you get by the time you drop a 4-drop isn't high. So really, I think it's just the goblins we can potentially be interested in here. Or, I'm sorry, the goblin and the pirate. Courageous Goblin. Whenever this creature attacks while you control a creature with power 4 more, it gets +1 and gains menace. We don't have that many cards with +4 power. 3 it currently stands. So this isn't an awful card. I'd probably main deck it, but I think Gorehorn Raider is just much better. It's a decent rate, and if we do the raid trigger, which shouldn't be too hard for us, it also enters and deals 2 damage to any target. So it's essentially a 5 mana 4/4 that shocks. Okay, it's not great, but I'm not super upset. I do think our curve is a little high. I would love lower cost drops the rest of the way, and we actually get given the double Burglar Rat here, which I will happily play another one of. Midnight Snack is here. Again, definitely more Orzhov. I don't see any way we can make that work for ourselves. So Burglar Rat it is. We'll happily take another one of those. Infestation Sage. Shivan Dragon, though. Dragon is pretty big, but I was just saying that I think our top end curve is already too high, to the point that we might have to cut some of it. So I really think we're going to take the Infestation Sage here over the Dragon. I don't love it. I think this is a really good card that we might find ourselves greatly missing in a game. But I think we want the curve first. I think Firebrand is tempting here. The other one is Siphoner. Siphoner is okay, but we already got another one in our sideboard if we want to play a second one. So I think for me it's Firebrand. Fake Your Own Death wheels back around. Till end of turn, target creature gains +2/+0 and gains when this creature dies, return to the battlefield tapped. Its owner's controller, and you create a treasure token. Or I'm sorry, tapped under its owner's control, and you create a treasure token. So this is actually kind of fun with the sacrifice stuff, right? We can High Society Hunter attack, instant this in, sacrifice a card, including itself potentially. Does it say other creature? It does say other creature. So we can sacrifice something else and then bring that back. which will trigger our raids. So if we do it with Artist, for instance, we get another 3 damage, or force them to discard kind of thing. I'm not huge on combat tricks, but I think this is actually a pretty good one in our particular deck. So we're going to try to mainboard it. I don't think we can run 2. I'm going to sideboard that second one. We'll take the Spitfire and sideboard it. We could have taken Rogues there. I think we take Bushwhack and sideboard it. Burnished Heart, 3 for 2/2, colorless. Sacrifice creature, search your library for up to 2 basic lands. Decent color fixing, not anything that we need. I think we're pretty solidly in Rakdos. I don't actually think we need to splash at all here, which makes me pretty happy. So, final thing is Untapped GGG is going to try to figure out what deck it thinks is best of these. It does see that we have the ability to go Sultai, interesting. I expected it to do black, red, green, but it did not. So we're going to say, let's build this one. Let's see where it changes. Thinks we should go, whoops, up the Goblin Borders, up a Sagween Siphoner, up on the Fake Your Deaths, remove both Blasts, the Zombify, Mountain Swamp, and the Fanatical Firebrand. So that we'd end up here. How much removal do we have? We've got Involuntary Employment. The Artist is kind of potentially removal, but it's removal they get to decide on. The Rat makes them sacrifice or discard, which is okay. We got 2 stabs. We've got the Shock off the Raider. We don't have that much removal. I do think this is much better curve, though, than what we were rocking. Unfortunately, that other removal that we really have access to is just so expensive. Right, Incinerating Blast is a 5 cost to do 6 damage to target creature. And at sorcery speed. Man, I don't know. This is a hard one for me. I do feel like we're running too little removal. But I do think like we're fairly aggro. Hoping to draw one of our big finishers. We could try to rebrand this deck so as we're just rushing through our cards trying to get Sire 7 Deaths out each game. Because if we drop that, it's really hard for the opponent to win. They've either got to pay a huge tax to remove it, or we have a First Strike, Lifelink, Menace, Vigilance, Trample, Ward, Reach card on the board. Like, there's just so few options to remove this outside of paying that 7 mana. But we don't have a lot of ways to encourage us to get it. Like, the removal does a little hope, but by the time we've got the other removal we're missing, we're 1 turn away from playing Sire anyways. Yeah. Okay, I think we'll try this. 17 lands looks correct. Let's go into some games. Okay, here we go. Game 1 against Time Knight 113. We are only gold in our drafting, so not quite the mythic we're used to on this channel. Some good cards out the gates. Turn 2 Hungry Ghoul, late game High Society, Tragic Banshee, and the Stab for some early aggression fixing. I think we try this. Opponent shows us Swamp as well. We find our 4th land, which we're not unhappy to see. There's our 5th one, so now we just got to get to the end game. They show us Orzhov colors. Inspiring Paladin. I think we go black here. We could swing and do a stab if they decide to block. They probably won't. They don't. I think that makes sense. They probably had a pretty good idea we had a combat trick. I don't feel the need to drop them now, especially since I'm curious what else they want to play. Squalled Rallier. Okay. 4. Still can't play anything. I think we leave open the Ghoul and the Stab for a block here. Which one's more pressing? Definitely the Rallier. We can still play Fakir on Death if we need to as well. The Claw's out. Drops to a 3/4. Okay, we'll do this because I think we do want to kill that creature. We drop down to 12. They lose that. We actually get our creature back, a treasure token. We can drop the additional black here. High Society Hunter, I think, is the best card. Is it? If a creature died this turn, there's no flash on it. Okay, I think we do High Society Hunter. Swing 2. We have to eat the Inspiring Paladin because it's got first strike on their turn. Do they have removal? They have Bake into a Pie. So we will Hungry Ghoul, auto pay with the treasure token, eat the High Society. It's very unfortunate. It is what it is. We find another Hungry Ghoul. We can't Tragic Banshee and Burglar Rat, right? 6, 5? No. So I think we do this. Make them bin one of their 2 cards. Do you have a land left in that hand? Then I'm going to drop the other Hungering Ghoul, and then we're going to hold back the 3/3 so that we can block the Inspiring Paladin if they swing. Looks like they're making a hard decision. I like that. They get rid of Crypt Feaster. That does not look like the best card we could have forced them to get rid of. It's alright. I do wonder what the other card is. They might not realize that they shouldn't attack with a Paladin. They could also have Combat Trick. Okay. Light Priest makes sense in an Orzhov killer deck. We haven't actually seen any light gain from them, I don't think. No. I mean, I guess they got the food token over the treasure, but we sacrificed, so they didn't actually get it. Do they swing? Nope. Okay, they know what's up. So that's fine, because we can do this. Sacrifice the Burglar Rat. Go up to a 4/4, play Tragic Banshee. Kill off the Inspiring Paladin. And then swing both of these for 6 damage. We know they have no combat trick. They don't decide to do anything. We drop them to 10. Tragic Banshee is a decent blocker being held back here. Quick Draw Katana. That's a lot of fun. They will equip that. That brings their Blight Priest up to a 5. First Striker. Do we block here? We have 6, 11 damage? No, we don't need to block. Boop. Dropped me down to 4. And we have all the damage on the swing back. Good game. I agree. Good game. Cool. 1 round down. We get 2 pips because we're in gold. Always nice to see. Get some rewards. Now we're guaranteed 100 gems in 1 pack instead of 50 gems. Again, 3 out of 3 is generally where I go for, although I think rewards are worse here. Yeah. Usually I'm playing premium. Looks like 3 of 3 is not as amazing here. Looks like we... Okay, so you have the bonus pack chance. Yeah, okay. So you really want to hit something in the 4 to 5 wins here. Because your pack numbers are worse. So, whenever you can premium draft, much better idea. A, you're picking against other players, so you have a better chance of getting some better rare cards. And B, the rewards stack up quicker. Of course, it's more expensive to enter, so like bear that in mind. But this looks like a pretty okay hand. Stab, Siphoner, and Goblin Borders is a great curve, with the Sire of 7 Deaths as a promise late game. I'm here for it. I think we just go black in case they've got a turn 1 that we want to kill off. No Llanowar. They show us green, but nothing else. Ooh, the M21 lands. I haven't seen these in a while. I do like them. I think I got the Swamp, this one right here, but I don't think I have much of anything else from it. Huh. I think we go 3. We'll swing first. We'll get that tick. They might decide to block, in which case we stab, and we're really happy. Yeah. And now they don't get their own Sagween Siphoner, which would have started taking damage. I'm pretty happy with that turn of events. They're probably not. 3 color as they drop the planes down. So are they Orzhov splashing green? And if so, what are they splashing green for? Gutless Plunderer comes down, but they don't have any triggers, so that's fun. I do think I still want to attack here so that we can get the Goblin Borders +1 counter. But we can't actually kill the Gutless Plunderer here. Maybe we hold off this turn. Because next turn we can at least do Sagween Siphoner, drop Banshee, kill the Plunderer. They do Grow from Ashes, so they'll go get a land card. They get another Forest. So probably not just the splash. Okay, we're at 5, 6 lands in hand. Feeling pretty good about that. We'll go ahead and do the drain again. They will presumably block. We will Tragic Banshee, kill off the Plunderer. They might think we have a combat trick here and not do anything. If they did, we would have played Borders and be perfectly happy with it. They didn't, so we won't. We only need 1 more land and 2 more turns though until Sire comes down. They are at 18 life, so they could eat the 7 life cost it takes to remove Sire. We'd really like to see them have some type of removal. Play it now. Okay, they don't have 7 cards in the graveyard, but this does kill off that without any problem. That said, I still think we just attack. We've got 2 more creatures about to come down. So that's a 4/3 because we attacked. And then the Hungry Ghoul if we need to eat the border for some reason. Or even the Sire if they've got removal for it. Make them pay the ward and then eat it and get the +1/+1 counter. Nothing wrong with that. They have so many more cards than we do, though. I don't think they've had any card advantage over us. Maybe a little. Grow from Ashes. Man, more Death Touch. Okay. Battle Song Berserker. Whenever you attack, target creature you control gains +1, +0, and Menace. Huge. We'll attack with this. It gets 5, gains Menace, and gets in for dropping them to 13. I don't think this is a bomb on its own, but man, that just changed the board state immensely. If they've got removal, they should now probably play it to remove Battlesong Berserker. Unless they've got another creature with Death Touch or something. We haven't seen any removal from them yet, though, right? No, I mean Death Touch. They've got Death Touch on Death Touch, but nothing else yet. Light Priest comes down. Okay. They haven't shown us any way to gain life. I really don't think this is an Orzhov deck. Okay, nothing to eat. We find the land, so we will be playing Sire this turn. We will attack just the border, I think. Give it the 5. They double block. We kill off the Snare Spinner. We won't be able to kill both, though. Okay. We could eat it, too. I don't think that's required. And then Sire comes down. And, I mean, what is this thing? This thing already has Menace, so we can now attack with 2 creatures with Menace. Huge. We did not hold up a spare mana for Hungry Ghoul, so if they have the removal for Sire, they have the removal. That would cost them 7 life, though. Drop them down to, what is that, 6? Yeah, 6 damage, unless I'm really bad at napkin math, which is a possibility. And then we would sing 4 Menace. Like, they're going to have a really hard time here. And if they don't, we're going to swing 11 Menace. Oh, and there's High Society Hunter, too. Bomb after bomb. All right, we'll drop both of these. Both of them have Menace. Sire has Vigilance. First Strike. I mean, this card's just keyword soup Eldrazi, which pretty much is what the Eldrazi do. It doesn't have Indestructible, I guess. It's about the only thing that's missing for an Eldrazi. Okay, we get to do the first strike damage, which is going to put us up to 29 life. I don't really see how they come back from this. Okay, they are looking like they've got removal. Stroke of Midnight, okay. Okay, and then we will sacrifice. Right, this actually does kill, right? Destroy target online controller creates a 1/1. Yeah, I'll just take the counter. Thank you. Drop you to 2. Play High Society Hunter. And this is probably GG. You need to block 3 creatures, one of them with Menace. You have 2 life, so all of them are lethal. And they go ahead and scoop. Yeah, pretty much did everything we wanted to there. That was the deck plan. Excellent. Get our rewards, go up to 2 wins, 0 losses. If you're still watching at this point, I'd love to know your thoughts on more drafts in this on this channel. I do quite enjoy them. I do quite a bit, but I definitely don't consider myself a good draft limited player, where I feel like I'm pretty okay at constructed. This is a non-keepable hand. Double Mountain, Sire, Stab, Fake, Ghoul, and Nighthawk. There's some cards we love in here, and if we drew black off the top, which we have a 30% chance to do each turn, we'd be really happy. There's just not enough guarantee that that happens, though. Double Swamp and a Mountain is better. Artist, High Society, Whelp, and Borders. I think we bin the Borders, although that's a rough take. And I think we actually don't have much to do until turn 3, where we'll drop our first Fire Spitter Whelp, attack with that, and then drop Artist turn 4. Fortunately, opponent isn't doing much. We could Burglar Rat here on turn 2. They've got 5 cards. They might have something they're okay discarding, where if we save this for turn 4... No, because turn 4 we're probably playing Artist. Turn 5 we're probably playing High Society, so this has to wait till turn 6. I think maybe we just play that now, then. I don't hate the rat on turn 6 for the record, but I think having the 1/1 down already doesn't hurt us, and they might be forced to still get rid of something that they like. And they got rid of removal. I don't hate the fact that we got rid of removal. Okay. We get to play Fire Spitter Whelp. No need to attack with the rat. Doesn't do anything into the unicorn. Snare Spinner sucks, especially with that +1/+1 counter. I do think we want Artist, although they've got Reach now, but we can do Rat and be happy. We're not going to fake its own death. We'll save that for High Society Hunter, where it might actually be relevant. They now can sacrifice a creature, lose 3 life. Okay, they took the 3 life. I think that makes the most sense. I think they had a pretty good board. Another Treetop Spinner. Ooh, boy. Okay, this is pretty terrifying. That's a lot of Death Touch. That's a lot of Reach. Until we find something like Sire, we're not in a great spot. I guess we do High Society Hunter this turn. Fake your own death next turn on the High Society. If we drew a removal, which is the employment, what do you even take? Good Fortune Unicorn? Do they have removal in hand? Make your move. Okay. Well, there goes the removal. But we did not have the spare mana to keep open Fake Your Own Death. We're very much in a position where we're just holding into a board state. And we need to find our parity breaking cards, which is probably maybe some of our high-end raids. The Zombify doesn't hurt, which we're not running. And they're popping off out here. That Elfsworn Giant is huge. Stab is what we get. The Whelp is going to do some damage here, but they've got too much reach for us to be picking at them. They keep dropping cards. The Good Fortune Unicorn keeps doing things. We actually should have stabbed that already. We had the opportunity. We should have taken it. We're going to let them do attacks first, see if that matters. But we probably need to stab the Good Fortune Unicorn. Okay, they attack with the Giant. And I think I am okay double blocking to kill that. With the Fake Your Own Death trigger on it. Deal the damage. And then also just stab the Good Fortune Unicorn. They might choose to not kill the artist here. They don't. Infestation Sage. We still can't attack because they still got reach. And of course, Artist doesn't do a whole lot there because we weren't able to sacrifice it on our turn where Raid would be triggered. Guilt Leaf comes down. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever it attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf, which is only 2 right now. It has to attack with it. Goblin Borders is fine. I think we can sacrifice the Infestation Sage for that. Okay. Gets us a 4/3. Wait, is this trigger every time? Oh, I've been sleeping on this card hard, haven't I? Interesting. I think we can take the 6 here. We need more than lands, though. Alright, I guess we attack with the Flyer. They've got to start sacrificing creatures or taking more damage. I mean, they still got 9. So unless we draw Sire, it's not clear how we're going to win this game. Ooh, Colony gives basically everything trample because almost everything has +1/+1 counters on them. That is terrifying. I think we can kill Leaf here. I think that might be worth it. We still go down to 8. And I think we do... I guess Artist is fine. Okay. We'll get that removal. Another elf dead. We get a ping. Artist. Comes back. Triggers. They'll probably take the 3 here, I would suspect. We'll probably need to do some blocking here, but everything still has trample. Now, unless Colony is removed, that's going to stay. Good game. I think they might be right. We can block 2 damage, and they're going to swing board. Yeah. There's just nothing we can do. Good game. I don't think even knowing that Artist affects every single turn if you attack, that we could have done much better with it. I just don't think we had the creature density to do that. And their Snare Spinners were just so dominating this game. We also could have removed one of the counters on Llanowar Elves, but they would have gotten more. So, yeah, some mismanagement on my side. I don't think it was enough to change the course of that game. But that's alright. We are now in the 1-loss pool. So we'll have some slightly weaker decks. We were definitely getting to the point where the decks that we were facing were going to have good cards, for sure. Tommy Force 85. Reminds me of some Kids Next Door stuff. I think this hand's fine. We got all the mana we need. We got Borders. We got Sire in the hand. We've got Berserker. And a Hungry Ghoul turn 2. Yeah, this seems fine. Good old Thopter here is the pet. Opponent plays Forest into Llanowar Elf. I wish I had Stab, but unfortunately we don't. We'll go ahead and play our Ghoul down. They can do a 3 mana play here, and they do First Fang, a card near and dear to my heart. Do we swing Ghoul? It's a difficult question. I don't think we do. I don't think we need to lose Ghoul over this. We'll take a little damage in response from it, but I think that's fine. Question is, how many more cats do they have? And they're answering us with Prideful Parent, which is just a huge board state for them to already have. We are doing well in getting to some of our other things, which is important. Do we swing Ghoul here? I mean, we can't play Borders, so I don't think so. The Berserker helps us block pretty much everything on their board. Savior comes down. That's a good card. They're actually going to be able to swing in now. And we have 3 more turns at minimum until we can get Sire down. Sire is the real winner here. We're going to take 8 off of this. I think we actually need to lose the Ghoul. Vampire Nighthawk is huge. Yeah, definitely going to be Vampire Nighthawk here. The 2/3 Lifelink Death Touch is very big. Healer's Hawk comes down, that's fine. Oh, do you have removal for my night? You do. Shoot. They don't have lethal, I don't think. But, like, they've basically gotten to play cats in Limited. And that's huge for them. I guess we block the 3. Man, and that's lifelink. We go down to 4. Even if we can drop Sire, which we can't, I don't know if it would save us. Burglar Rat comes down, they have to lose something. Yeah, another... I mean, it's Savannah Lions, which is still a good card. I mean, they just put us on the back foot so hard here. To be fair, I don't know if any removal we could have grabbed that actually would have saved us. Like, we needed a full-on board wipe card. Yeah, and they realize they can swing board. There shouldn't be any way we can solve this. If we had First Strike against the First Fang, we might be able to do a little better. But we're still going to take 7 damage. Yeah, GG, we had no chance there. I don't even think we had cards in our deck that really could have helped us by the time they dropped First Fang on curve. Devastating. All right, here we go against RYUK. 4 mana opening, we have Sire, Stab, and Involuntary Employment. This is not a good keepable hand, but having Sire in the opening hand and 2 of our removal is tempting. I'm going to say screw best practices, and I'm going to gamble. Opponent mulligans, plays a Plains, does nothing else. That's great for us. Our top card, though, is a 5-drop, which is a little higher than we want. Turn 2, they show us Orzhov Killers again, and Heir Apparent. I will happily kill Heir Apparent immediately. That's what this deck is, then we don't need to see that. Play our next Swamp. Got 5 mana, so we can ramp into Tragic Banshee right now. It's going to take us a few more turns. Opponent not doing much. The longer we get to go without having to cast... without having to deal with opponent's cards is great. They flash in Commando, though. Commando? Swift Boots. Swift Boots I don't actually care that much about. The Hexproof, I guess, is interesting, but nothing crazy. We've already used our removal. Siphoner can come down, which can actually block and trade with this card, so cool. Alright, there's nothing else in the text. I mean, destroy target artifact or enchantment, sure. Alright, do you have some type of blowout instant? Use it here. I'd rather see all your good cards go away now than later. No, you just trade. Cool. I suppose you can drop another card. Yep, and then you always have Swift Boots for the comeback. It's an interesting spot. I think I'm actually on with Rat here rather than the Banshee. I wish it was a Ghoul instead, because that would make involuntary employment so much better. Fake Your Own Death is what they discarded. Not a bad thing to see removed. We don't need to block this 3-2. This is fine. They also had some form of stick, which is interesting. Gutless Plunderer comes down, 2-2. They get to do a little bit of... They essentially get a Surveil 3, though slightly worse. Because I only get to pick one card to keep. Okay, they bend the first strike. Ooh, we get Ghoul. Yeah, I think this is great. We get to do Ghoul, Employment, which is... Oh, no. Employment's 4 cost, so we would not have the mana at that point. So this is a next turn shenanigan if we want. Although we could also Tragic Banshee and get a lot out. Unless they equip the Hexproof with the Swift Foot Boots. Which is sorcery speed, yeah? Yes, equip is sorcery speed. That's what I thought. Okay, no need to block this. Actually... we could. And then sacrifice it? I don't think so. I think we just take the 3. And then Tragic Banshee this turn. Ooh, Fake Your Own Death. Jeez. Okay, yeah, so we will sacrifice the Burglar Rat. We could swing and see if we get 1 cheap damage in there. Tragic Banshee comes down. We're only missing 1 land before Sire, by the way. Like, that's our real endgame plan here. I think we kill the Blight Priest so that we can Gutless Plunderer Theft next turn and then sacrifice it. Okay, they have the removal for Tragic Banshee. Super happy to see that played now rather than next turn. Oof. 4 1/1 rats off of the Revenge of the Rats. But we find our land. So are we doing Involuntary Unemployment or Sire here? I think it's just got to be Sire, right? First Strike, Lifelink, Vigilance, Menace, etc. This makes their board completely unusable. I do wish we had the mana open for Fake Your Own Death. If this card managed to survive this turn, which we hope is not a big if, because they've already used their big removal, then we should be able to just hold up Fake Your Own Death and win this game. Kind of going through the motions here. Okay, they decide to do nothing, which means we get to untap and get Fake Your Own Death. We have 4 mana if we voluntary employment. We could save this. I think we just save this, right? They're not killing Sire, even with the Death Touch, thanks to First Strike. And involuntary employment lets me remove something that might actually be difficult to kill. Okay, they let 7 damage go through. Almost heals us back to full health. And it's got Vigilance, so it's fine. Mischievous Pup. Okay. What are they returning? Nothing, they just wanted the 3-1 down. That's fine. Inspiring Paladin. Okay. Nothing we're overly worried about. They do have enough damage now on board that they could... Maybe? Right? Because they need the first set of damage for the first strike. And then they would need the rest of the damage. But they have the Death Touch, so that would be fine. Yeah. We can play Battlesong Berserker. That's fine. It gives our Sire +1. Already has Menace, so we don't stack Menace. That would be crazy. Drop them to 5. And I think we just hold up Fake Your Own Death for something crazy this turn. But I'm pretty sure that's game. Valkyrie's Call. Ooh, boy. That is definitely a card. Do they swing board here? They do not. Okay. So they can do some pretty crazy things here. I think we steal the Gutless Plunderer. Swing our own board. Give Menace to the Ghoul. And see how they want to respond here. Okay, they block the Battlesong Berserker. Totally fine. They block the Ghoul. Double block it. Okay, there we go. And now you got 2 cards left for Sire. So you definitely don't kill it. You've put 4 damage on Ghoul. And we're going to want to sacrifice you anyway. So we sacrifice the Berserker. I don't think so. Drop them to 2. They do get some angels. We do lose Hungry Ghoul. They get the pup back, I believe. Yep. Okay. They've got some Flying Angels now. Definitely not nothing. We're up to 33 life. They do have First Strike. Revenge of the Rats for 5. They come in tapped. We also have Lethal. I guess not with the 1 rat that's untapped, right? Because we can swing 8 Trample. Thanks to the Battlesong Berserker. And they have 7 Toughness. I think, does this give +1/+1? No. So they give Hexproof to the Paladin. That's fine. Doesn't really do anything. We just swing Sire here. Very easy for them to mess up. And even if they do kill it, we get to fake our own death here. Okay. 8 First Strike. And I think this is actually lethal anyways. It is. So we don't even have to worry about the actual comeback portion. Even though that would have immediately played a part. We didn't actually take any damage. Am I wrong about them having First Strike there? I mean, I had fun. I don't know about opponent. +1/+1 counter on it. It has flying and is an angel in addition to its other types. I could have swore I was seeing First Strike on those. That must be my bad. We were never in any jeopardy of losing that. Still, Sire of 7 Deaths, such a huge find for this deck. I don't genuinely know if we would have been able to win that fight if we hadn't had it. No takebacks might be our keyword soup there. I'm not sure. So that's 3 out of 3. This is generally where I like to hit. Again, I generally do premium drafts. I don't think the win is quite as good here. I think 500 was my entry gems. So we're getting a good amount back. We're guaranteed getting 4 packs, but the quick draft selection really means that you're not doing a good a rare draft. I think the only thing I didn't have was the Sire. We saw 1 other rare that was in the same pack as the Sire. So pretty limited rare draft potential there. Whereas something for like Ether Drift, I was just getting all kinds of 3x3 wins, 3 losses plays alongside a bunch of rare drafting done. All right, great opening hand here. Swamp, Mountain, Sage, Rat, Artist, Nighthawk, and Borders. Super happy with this. Good curve. They are also Rakdos Killers, showing us with the Bloodfell K's. We find Involuntary Employment, but we don't have any way to actually make use of it yet. Axguard Cavalry comes down. Do we Burglar Rat this early, or do we wait? We actually can't drop Nighthawk next turn. So I know I'm Infestation Sage swing next turn. Followed by Artist, followed by Borders. Yeah, I think we just rat this turn. We're not... By the time we can actually play it later, it's going to be so much later that we risk the opponent basically not having a hand anymore. It's funny, because during the draft spar, I was like, yeah, rat, I really like this as not a 2-drop, and I'm pretty sure every time I've used it as a 2-drop. What? Oh, unemployment. Okay, I thought it was the if you're at 10 life, you take 10 damage card. So no, they're doing our thing. Not surprising. The Nighthawk is a huge win for them. High Society Hunter is a good win for us. We still swing Infestation Sage here, although they do get the 2 lifelink now. Nope, they just say, nope, not today. I know combat tricks. It's not a combat trick. It's artist. Sorry. They'll probably take 3 damage. Yep, they do. And, man, I wish we had Ghoul. They play their own artist. They don't actually swing first, but they'll probably just swing with the Nighthawk now. Yeah, and so they do. We take a couple of damage. We will probably just take the 3 life here as well. Sanguine Siphoner is a card. Okay. We don't have come back wrong, so we only swing with the Infestation Sage, I think. They will presumably block it. They don't. They must still be worried about some kind of combat trick. It's actually just more raid. They will probably take the 3 damage unless they got something good they want to discard. They don't. We would trade Artists with our borders here. Presumably they just do Vampire Nighthawk. They don't. They swing Artists, so this is probably a comeback wrong. I think we still have to just trade with it, though. Sure Strike. Okay. Well, we figured it was a combat trick, but we had to take the chance that it wasn't. We could have blocked it more times, I guess. I don't actually know that we had what we needed for that. I think we discard a card here and get a Sanguine Siphoner rather than lose the life. We only find Burglar Rat. We're actually getting kind of toasted on the lands here, which is unfortunate. I think we swing our other rat here rather than the Infestation Sage. No, because they're just going to trade with the other Sage, right? They should actually just block Axguard, and they do. Makes sense. High Society Hunter is what we really want to find the mana for. We're only 2 away. They play the Gutless Plunderer without doing the attack first, even though they're probably doing attack. Kind of makes me a little disappointed here, because, like, I'm pretty sure they could be playing their deck so much better. I think I lose the 3 life here. God dang it. Okay. What do we do here? They block Axguard Cavalry, and it doesn't matter. Yeah, I guess we just swing the token. Get in for the 1. Get in for the Artist. Hold up. Fake your own death. Wait, why did that trigger? Non-combat? Non-token? Okay, I'm confused. Okay, we take the 2 damage here. We take 3 damage thanks to the Blight Priest. Resolve, we will have to discard a card. I think we get rid of Nighthawk. Nighthawk or Fake Your Own Death? I think it's Nighthawk. We find Sire, but, like, we are so far away. We'll do Rat. Oh, they discarded Blast, didn't they? Okay. And I'm pretty sure they can just turn board here and it doesn't matter. We can fake our own death, get Artist back, but again, it doesn't matter. Because the center's tapped. Well, that's a kind of crappy way to go out. I think our deck is actually better than them, but we got trapped on the 3 lands, which is what we kept in hand. I don't really think we made a mistake on the cards we kept. It just wasn't enough. We just did not draw the cards, and that's magic. Sometimes that's just magic. Yeah, I don't feel too bad about that draft. Got what I wanted out of it. Had a little bit of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well. I would like to do more. We probably will do more eventually as I get better at drafting and rank up a bit more. I do like my videos generally being around the Mythic Diamond level. And the highest I have been in drafting is low diamond. All right, Wizards, that is all for this video. Let me know if you like it down in the comments. Want to see more drafting? We'll probably do our own playlist of this. Yeah, and I'll see you next time.